Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Vancha Kalpatarubhasya, Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. I'm really sorry for stopping the wonderful chanting. Sundarji chanting so nicely. And today we will start with a Bhagavatam class by Her Grace Jayasri Mataji from West Virginia, USA. And before we start with the greeting, I would like to share a quote by Srila Prabhupada. I just picked up the quote on 11th November, which is today. This is a letter to Brahmananda, November 11, 1967. If a sincere soul goes out and opens a center in any part of the world, Krishna will help him in all respects. Without being empowered by Krishna, nobody can preach Krishna consciousness. Maybe I can say it one more time. If a sincere soul goes out and opens a center in any part of the world, Krishna will help him in all respect. without being empowered by Krishna, nobody can preach Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much. May I know who are on the call today?
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Geeta from Maryland. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Geeta Mataji, Mataran Pranam to you. Shubh Prabhat ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for joining us regularly.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Surinder Bhandari from Maryland.
Hare Krishna Surinder Prabhuji, Mataran Pranam to you. Shubh Prabhat ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you for joining regularly and also chanting. Anybody else would like to announce?
Hare Krishna Mataji, we are missing Charuji.
Prabhuji, Surinder Prabhuji, Charuji is resting. She's leaving tomorrow. So it's like she's having some, late evenings these days. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Surinder Prabhuji, for remembering. And it is hard to get up in the morning when, we sleep late. So not Mataji's fault at all. Okay, so we have our speaker, Her Grace Jayasri Mataji, on the call. And Mataji will enlighten us on the verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is verse 18. So, Canto 7, Chapter 9, and text 18. And also, if Mataji can add a little bit of Damodar Lila. We are in the last few days left of the Kartik month this year. 5-6 days left, I suppose. So, Mataji, if you can please take over, and thank you so much for your association. We really look forward. I wanted to mention there was one Mataji. Yesterday she was saying in our temple that I will join. Maybe she's not joined yet, but I will send her a reminder. Ipshita Mataji, she says, I really like Mataji's classes. And, like I'd already shared earlier, Jayasri Mataji's classes there. So even in the temple, there are people who come and tell me they enjoy your natural flowing classes. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Good morning, everyone. Yes, natural, and down to earth are my classes.
Naturally, you speak, and she loves it. So I'm going to send a reminder. Ipshita Mataji is not joined yet. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Please take over.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Hare Krishna. Of course, Srila Prabhupada. Here we are again. So fortunate to be hearing from the great souls. What a way to start your morning. So many people start their morning with the radio on, a cigarette, a cup of coffee, a drive to work. Not a very enlivening or enlightening morning. So here we are. Jaya Radha Madhava Gopi Janapalava Girivaradari Yasuranandana Brajajanara Yamuna Tira Anatari Jaya Radha Madhava Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gauri Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gauri Bo, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajakacharya Sri Satis Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajakacharya Sri Satis Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Kirti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sri Kaur Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srila Sati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai. Jamuna Maya Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityamani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vijayane Nivisesa Anybody Vajacha Deshata. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, text number 18. Someone want to do the Sanskrit?
Mataji, I will try. Before your class, I was practicing a little bit. So
I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Soham Priya Yasa Suhardha Para Deva Taya Lila Kathas Tava Narsimha Virincha Gita Anjastit Armya Anugram Guna Vipra Mukto Durgani Te Pada Yugalaya Hamsa Sangha. Thank you, Mataji.
Oh, thank you. Synonyms: sa, that, aham, I, Prahlad Maharaj, Privasya, of the dearmost, Sarita, well-wisher. I can't see this. Sorry, the sun is in my eyes. Paradevaya, Taya, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lila Kata, narrations of the pastimes, Sadva, your Nrsinga, oh my Lord Nrsingadev. Rincha Gita, given by Lord Brahma by the disciplic succession. Jnana, easily. Titrami, I shall cross. Anuganan, constantly describing. Sorry, the sun is in the eyes. Guna, by the modes of material nature. Vipramukha, specifically being uncontaminated. Dvarangi, all miserable conditions of life. Te, of you. Pada Yuga Balva, Balya, fully absorbed in meditation on the lotus feet. Hamsa Sangha, having the association of the Hamsas, or liberated persons who have no connection with material activities. Translation: O my Lord Nrsingadev, by engaging in your transcendental loving service in the association of devotees who are liberated souls, Hamsas, I shall become completely uncontaminated by the association of the three modes of material nature and be able to chant the glories of your Lordship, who are so dear to me. I shall chant your glories following exactly in the footsteps of Lord Brahma and his disciplic succession. In this way, I shall undoubtedly be able to cross the ocean of nescience. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. A devotee's life and duty are very well explained herein. As soon as a devotee can chant the holy name and glories of the Supreme Lord, he certainly comes to the liberated position. Attachment for glorifying the Lord by hearing and chanting the holy name and activities of the Lord, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, certainly bring one to the position where material contamination is absent. One should chant the bona fide songs received from the disciplic succession. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the chanting is powerful when one follows the disciplic succession. Evam parampara praptam idam rajasya du. Manufacturing many ways of chanting will never be effective. However, chanting the song or the narration left by the previous acharyas, Mahajana Jainagata Sadprata, is extremely effective, and this process is very easy. Therefore, in this verse, Prahlad Maharaj uses the word anja, easily. Accepting the thoughts of exalted authorities through disciplic succession is certainly much easier than the method of mental speculation by which one tries to invent some means to understand the absolute truth. The best process is to accept the instructions of the previous acharyas and follow them. Then God realization and self-realization become extremely easy. By following this easy method, one is liberated from the contamination of the material modes of nature, and thus one can certainly cross the ocean of nescience, in which there are many miserable conditions. By following in the footsteps of the great acharyas, one associates with the Hamsas or the Paramahansas, who are completely freed from material contamination. Indeed, by following the instructions of the acharyas, one is always freed from all material contamination, and thus one's life becomes successful, for one reaches the goal of life. This material world is miserable, regardless of one's standard of life. Of this, there is no doubt. Attempts to mitigate the miseries of material existence by material methods will never be successful. One must take to Krishna consciousness to become really happy. Otherwise, happiness is impossible. One might say that becoming advanced in spiritual life also involves tapasya, voluntary acceptance of some inconvenience. However, such inconvenience is not as dangerous as material attempts to mitigate all miseries. Om Ganatimirindasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshurumaditamyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. We're born in the darkness of ignorance, but our spiritual master is kindly opening our eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. So we offer our respectful and humble obeisances to the lotus feet of such spiritual masters. So, very, very straightforward. Srila Prabhupada is urging that we don't follow the footsteps of the deep, absorbed materialists. They know they're suffering. They don't always admit it. Oh, life is so enjoyable. I'm so happy. I'm going to go on this vacation. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I will be so happy. But in reality, they just get deeper and deeper. Look at the civilization we have. It is just so annoying sometimes. There's all these devices. Everyone has all these devices. And who really knows the result of using all of these devices with these subtle energies, ear pods in the ears, who knows what it's doing to the brain, all the internet, the 5K, all these things, just sitting and watching a screen for hours and hours, trying to mitigate our boredom and our suffering. So what do we have? We have so much mental illness now, so much stress. Why should people be stressed? You know, it's the same thing people were doing years ago, hundreds of years ago. Sure, we have some technology, but I mean, really, is it really getting rid of all the suffering? You get on the phone to try and talk to somebody, and you just go from one robot voice to the next robot voice. And after like 10 minutes, you find out that you can't really talk to anybody. And if you leave a message, maybe someone will call you back. I mean, for me, that is so frustrating. And you're talking about like big organizations, even governments. You know, it's like you have to be young and very techy and have a lot of ability and enthusiasm and determination to keep going just to get the day done. Sometimes I pity the poor, like my mother. You know, if she didn't have my sister and had to rely on her own ability to maneuver through even trying to get appointments at the doctors and would get test results and stuff, she would never be able to do it. It's just the society that's been made is just so annoying on so many levels. So they're trying to be eternally youthful. They've all this plastic surgery and just one like video on after another trying to make your day better, you know, how to put makeup on and how to do your hair and there's so much lust involved in this society, so much sex, so much intoxication. You really can't. I feel sorry for the youth of this age. There's so much contamination going into their brain and into their psyche on how to live, how to act, what you're supposed to expect out of life. When I was young, if you saw someone sort of kiss on the TV, it was almost risque. If you saw, when it came to violence, you saw someone lift a knife or pull a gun out, and then the next scene was some person laying on the ground shot. Now it's like so graphic. And then music and the suspense. And I mean, no wonder everyone's mental anxiety and stress level is so high. So here we see Prabhupada saying that to try and find a solution by getting deeper and deeper. Here, what does he say? One might say that becoming advanced in spiritual life also involves tapasya, voluntary acceptance of some inconvenience. However, such inconvenience is not as dangerous as material attempts to mitigate all miseries. I mean, Prabhupada, it seemed like he was very old-fashioned. He really was trying to bring us back to, I mean, that's what New Vrindavan was supposed to be, back to the roots. Grow your own food. Live a simple life. The houses Prabhupada designed, used to call them Prabhupada houses, were probably as big as someone's living room, the whole house. He really wanted us to live simply here. Easier said than done. And if he had been living for a longer time, there may have been more, or I'm sure there would have been more instruction given on so many levels. But the point is he didn't want us getting super involved in this modern society the way it is. I know use things for Krishna service. I know that's also his way. But basically, simple living and high thinking is what Prabhupada lived and what Prabhupada taught. Learn how to cook your own food, learn how to grow your own food. You know, exercise, be outside. In the old days, when we take people through the palace, the people are amazed by the woodwork. The wood was all hand-carved teakwood from Mumbai. And in America, there used to be real furniture. You could actually buy, people actually made furniture. They didn't, it wasn't mass produced out of all this cheap, destructible press board stuff full of chemicals and products from animal slaughter. And it's just, and then people's patience. If you look for a job, like on LinkedIn or something like that, if you read some of the requests of the people that are hiring, must be fast thinking, be able to convince people, you know, we want the high speed person that's good at conversation. And, you know, they're looking for a certain type of person. They're not saying we want someone who's very stable and level-headed and patient and you know, it's just all this fast-moving, fast food, fast society. Everything is just out of proportion. So the stress level of the people is so much higher. It's really unfortunate. They're trying to solve their material problems by material means. And instead of making it better, they're not creating a peaceful, chaste, honest society when the leaders are corrupt. What is the example for the young people or for anybody? What is the example? Or, you know, the hero. Everyone wants a hero. So what are the heroes nowadays? People that have a lot of money, oh, that's the hero. Someone who's got a political position, even though they're the lowest of men, that's the hero? No, it's a sad society. So this particular verse echoes exactly what Prabhupada did and taught. It is so unique. My Lord Nrsimha, by engaging in your transcendental loving service in the association of devotees who are liberated souls, I shall become completely uncontaminated by the association of the three modes of material nature and be able to chant the glories of your Lordship. So Prabhupada knew that this was such an important thing. So he built a society in such a way that it was centered around chanting the glories of the Lord. I shall chant your glories following exactly in the footsteps of Lord Brahma and his disciplic succession. In this way, I shall undoubtedly be able to cross the ocean of nescience. So as soon as a devotee can chant the holy name and glories of the Lord, he certainly comes to the liberated position. Attachment for glorifying the Lord by hearing and chanting the holy names and activities of the Lord, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, certainly bring one to the position where material contamination is absent. So from the beginning, Prabhupada, that he talked about the disciplic succession. That was a very big thing for him. So when a child's in elementary school, he learns the very simple basics, right? 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. So when we first started with Srila Prabhupada, we were like Prabhupada's children, not knowing anything, not ever even heard of the Vedas or Krishna or the personality of Godhead. We heard of God. But he not only taught the basics of Krishna consciousness, he taught the basics of being a cultured human being. I mean, when Prabhupada came, it was like dealing with babies, spoon feeding them like children, how to dress, right? He taught them how to dress in a chaste way. Who ever thought of that? Born in America? Did anyone ever on any commercial, anything, did anyone talk about chastity? I mean, the old school parents, they were a stronghold for their families. They had some morals, fortunately. Now what are young people presented with? Just no example at all. Prabhupada taught the young people how to eat. The standard American diet, was bacon and eggs, ham and toast, breakfast of cheap cereal and cold milk, and then a bologna sandwich for lunch with mustard. You go to the school and there's hamburgers and there's meat pizza, and then for dinner there's some big horrible thing. So we taught them like children how to eat. The Vedic food, the rice, the dal, the cooking fresh. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, food over 3 hours old is like putrid. It's so Prabhupada's standard was so exemplary. It seems like so simple, but at the same time, it was such an example. Cooking your own rice. He had his 3 or 4 tier cooker. Rice, dal, he had chapatis, sabji, a standard fare for Srila Prabhupada. And he didn't deviate from that. It's not like once he became famous and there was a big society and money that he was just eating all gulab jamans and just samosas all the time. And no, he stuck to his regular, simple, healthy diet. Such a great example. Krishna is so kind. Such a simple, unassuming example. How to clean yourself. Prabhupada taught the devotees how to clean yourself. And how to clean your living space. He actually literally taught them how to clean the floor, and that the walls should be washed like once a week. I remember when I was first having my first child, my apartment, I washed the floors every day and the walls once a week. Prabhupada's standard of cleanliness was extremely high. And even if you can't come to that level of cleanliness, still to know what the standard of cleanliness is so important. We're just such malechas in this age. So, one second. He taught us how to be a moral person. Just basic morals of honesty, truthfulness, and not only by his example, but by the teachings that he was bringing. It was like having a second birth. It's like you lived your life a certain way, your whole life, doing all kind, as he would say, any damn thing. And then all of a sudden, you're 20 years old and there's a teacher that starts over as if you're a baby. How to eat, how to sleep, how to mate, how to dress, how to live your life, basically. Such a great fortune, such a great fortune. He even taught us how to brush our teeth. I don't know if you remember, Prabhupada used to brush his teeth with a twig. And if you think about the fact of a toothbrush, of how dirty it must be, it may not look dirty, but when you stick something in your mouth like that and brush your teeth for 3 months with the same thing, how clean can it be? A twig, you get a twig from certain plants, you chew the end, you brush your teeth with it and throw it away. It's so much cleaner. And plus it gives you like chlorophyll on your gums and different natural things. Eucalyptus, he used, what did he use? Eucalyptus, mango, and there was one other one that he used. How to clean yourself and your body after evacuating. Who ever heard of that except in India? And where? That comes from Vedic teachings, this higher standard of life. How to cook your food with an idea to offer it first to God. So what does that do? That changes your whole concept. You're not going everywhere just thinking, oh, maybe I can eat. Wow, this looks like a far-out restaurant. Look, they've got this, they've got that, they've got. I mean, I won't tell you what the common people are eating. I watch a cooking show every once in a while, and the food that they're eating is just horrible. I mean, it's like you just can't even look at what they're doing. Pig's noses, pig's ears, testicles. I mean, just, it's like, whoa, help. What a society. What a sad society. So here's Prabhupada, and he comes along, this little Indian sadhu, dressed in these little sadhu clothes, very unassuming, very sweet. And he starts this whole revolution of higher consciousness with an aim to please God. So you're going to the store. Of course, you have to think about what your body needs. But then you're going to cook it in a clean place with the idea that you're going to offer it to the Lord. Such a simple concept, but how deep is that? It's amazing. And then we cook our food, we offer our food in a clean and pure way. It's just so far from the standard. I was managing the Govinda's restaurant here years ago, and the health inspector came in and checked our facility. You know, they have to give you an approval. And he said, you know, honestly, yours is the only restaurant I would ever eat at after seeing what people do in the kitchens of the restaurants. You know, people taste food, they do all kinds of things. I won't even tell you what I've heard from people who work in some of these restaurants or fast food places. Just, and Prabhupada says, we take on the consciousness of grains cooked. So if we're, I mean, every once in a while, sure, what can you do? You're traveling, you're at the airport, maybe you buy some pretzels, or maybe you have a sandwich, or, you know, okay. But to make it a regular affair is probably not a good or healthy option. He didn't use processed, old, or contaminated foodstuffs. He wanted his spices ground fresh. He didn't buy the Indian spices that you find in the store, the masalas that we know are full, or many times full of things, sawdust, fillers. I mean, it's just a fact. So he taught the futility of intoxication and gambling, to the point of saying no tea, no coffee. Why? Because Prabhupada set the bar so high that, not that it's impossible to follow, but if we didn't have it set high, we would go lower and lower and lower. If the bar is low, we go lower than the bar, often. So Prabhupada set the bar really high. Sex only with your wife for propagating children. I mean, how amazing is that? Such a high and pure standard, but it's good to know that, and something to strive for, knowing that it's going to help you. You want to get out of this material consciousness, you want to get out of this material world, you want to get into a more pure and blissful life, here's the path. He was raising the standard of life, the purity, the consciousness. Just, just grace, Krishna's grace. He founded a society based on the higher precepts of spiritual life. And he began to structure a worldwide organization. I mean, can you imagine how big? Prabhupada said, I thought big. How big Prabhupada must have thought. You know he was empowered by Krishna. Who could think that big? If somebody else came to America from Prabhupada's cultured background, and he's living in Vrindavan, the holy place, living at the Radha Damodar temple with Rupa Goswami Samadhi right outside his kitchen window. And he comes to this super degraded place, and the only people that have any interest are these intoxicated hippies, basically. How does one start, or even have the desire or inspiration to start a worldwide movement with these little pieces of glass, this nothing? Prabhupada was so determined and so positive and so patient, like just a loving father when you have a little baby and the baby's throwing up on you and pooping in its diaper and you're cleaning it up. The mother is so careful, so loving not to hurt the child, and so the child will grow up. Prabhupada was just like that. And from his being like that, he structured an organization to carry forth all of these great teachings, painstakingly, person to person. Prabhupada wrote back to all the people that wrote to him. Can you imagine? He's in his 70s. He's traveling around 14 times in 10 years, I believe, traveling around the world, dealing with people that were not super qualified, paying person to person, so personal, letter after letter, instruction after instruction, book after book, day after day, until the very end of his life, his last breath, creating a house in which the whole world could live and proceed in their march towards the personality of Godhead. How unique and how fortunate we are to be in that house, doing the best we can with what we understand and with our own abilities. And then he built this society, he ran it, and then he gave instructions on how to give the fledgling society that he started a long and healthy life. He established a governing body with basic instructions of love and cooperation, and to at least maintain what he'd given. if they couldn't expand upon it. So here we are in a place where there's so much going on, so many wonderful centers and projects and classes and books coming out. It's like masses of books from different devotees and being distributed to the public. You know, it's something that shouldn't be taken for granted, because it's not always there. We see after Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj left, they did not carry on like he wanted. And look at what happened. And just simple things like when Lord Chaitanya and the associates left, the place was like a ghost town. People were just suffering. There was, you know, where was that beautiful Lord? They just, and then we hear before Bhaktivinoda Thakur how things in the Vaishnava movement had fallen into disarray. I mean, even as far as when Lord Chaitanya went and the Goswamis went to Vrindavan, the holy places had been covered over. They resurrected the holy places and established these temples of Radha Govinda. Of course, the Muslim Aurangzeb came and did his thing, but still, that we still have these holy places. And the devotees are still going on pilgrimage. Look at, you've got Indradumna Swami, you can watch it online, his parikram. Malati just went to one, Russian one, and then she went on to Radhanath Maharaj's pilgrimage to Mayapur. Just so much opportunity we have. We don't want to waste time. Life is so unpredictable. I mean, really, we can die any day, anytime. There is no guarantee. So we want to keep that somewhere in our consciousness, that we want to use each moment, each day, as best we can to try and follow in the footsteps of these great souls. So we're following in the footsteps of Prahlad Maharaj, one of the great Mahajans here. So he's saying by associating with the transcendental, in the loving service, the association of devotees who are liberated souls, I shall become completely uncontaminated by the association of the three modes of material nature and be able to chant the glories of your Lordship, who are so dear to me. So in the purport, Prabhupada talks about manufacturing many ways of chanting will never be effective. Following in the footsteps, right? He's given us these great souls who appeared in the past, but Prabhupada put it together for us and gave it to us on a silver gold plate. The songs, the prayers, the personalities. To make up things is one thing, and Prabhupada says that is dangerous and not good. But chanting the songs and the narrations left by the previous acharyas is extremely effective. And it's easy. So he was like the pivot point. He was, for us, the example, the bottom line, the founder, the acharya, the commander-in-chief of the Vaishnavas. So we follow in his footsteps. And because he's in the disciplic succession, we have gained through his vision and his presentations these other great souls. So if we follow in his footsteps and follow his teachings, it's like he opened the floodgates to the association with the previous acharyas, the Mahajans, the great souls. We have the teachings of Bhishma Dev, Kapila Dev, Queen Kunti, Lord Chaitanya, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, Lochan Das Thakur, Govinda Das, Jayadev Goswami, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. There is so much literature and so many teachings that we have access to now, but it's from following. We don't want to lose Prabhupada in the mix. We don't want to forget the base. Because Prabhupada was teaching for our day and age, right? And now we have these other great souls that are following Srila Prabhupada, that are teaching. And we have so much opportunity here. All right. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. It's just sometimes I get amazed. It was such a simple, elderly, sweet gentleman. Was so empowered by Krishna to love everyone but not in a sentimental way. To love everyone and to give them this highest direction and knowledge. Somehow or other, we've been blessed. All right, Damodar Astika. So, some places it says that the sage Satyavrata wrote the Damodar Astika, but in many other places it says that Vyasadeva in the Padma Purana in Sanskrit wrote the Damodar Astika, and it was spoken at a certain time by the sage Satyavrata. So I thought that was interesting. So I was looking for different things, and I'm just going to read to you something, and I forgot to put the place that I got it from. I'm sorry. I believe that this is something written, Hari Bhakti Vilas, in the month of Kartik. Okay, this is something I believe written by Sanatan Goswami. I'm just going to read a little of what I found. Hari Bhakti Vilas from the Skanda Purana. Specifically in the month of Damodar, one should daily worship Lord Damodar and take bath early in the morning, give in charity, and follow a fasting vow. This is the duty of the Vaishnavas. O Brahmins, any person who tries to observe a Kartik month without following the rules and regulations properly, Lord Krishna remains against them because this month, Kartik, is very pleasing to him. O son of Nanda, those Brahmins who do not give charity in the month of Kartik, perform sacrifice, chant japa, and fast for Lord Hari are the lowest of mankind. The month of Kartik is the topmost of all other months. It is the most meritorious and purified of all other months. There is no other month equal to Kartik, and there is no other yuga equal to Krita Yuga. There is no other scripture equal to the Vedas. There is no other place of pilgrimage equal to the Ganges. Therefore, the month of Kartik is very dear to the Vaishnavas. Among the 12 months of Kartik is dear to Lord Krishna. If someone performs a little worship of Lord Hari in this month, he offers that devotee his own abode. This statement is true. Whatever one actually eats, if he gives up some of the ingredients of it in the month of Kartik, then he achieves the same auspicious form as Lord Sri Krishna, undoubtedly. Srila Sanatana Goswami remarks in this Digdarshi Tika, those who are engaged in eating daily and following the rules of Kartik, they should try to minimize and give up certain ingredients in eating. Obtaining the same form as Krishna means that it liberates one from all the miseries of material world and gives all auspiciousness and happiness. So this is a long prayer by Sanatana Goswami. At the conclusion of this prayer, so I just read a little of it. At the conclusion of this prayer, in order to summarize the presentation of topics that are being prayed for, and also to arouse the attributes of bhakti, obeisances are given separately to Bhagavan's unique binding bodily limbs, associates, and so on. It is said, Te damne namostu. I bow to the Mahaprasa, the magnificent rope that binds your belly. What is the grand rope like? It is Spuryante Diptidamne, the source of magnificent effulgence. In this regard, it is suggested by the author that such a Mahaprasa is the very abode of the endlessly radiant, concentrated Brahma Teja, or the pervading Brahman effulgence. Tavidi Upaya Namostu. I bow to your belly because while bound with ropes, you easily manifest the beauty of other qualities of your belly, as well as the glorious characteristics of Vatsalya, Lila, and other pastimes. What is that belly like? It is called Payasyadam, the support of the universe and creation, including all the stationary and moving beings contained therein. From the lotus navel of his abdomen has sprouted a gigantic lotus flower that sustains the 14 worlds. Additionally, during his childhood pastimes in Vrindavan, he displayed the Vishvarup, or eternal or universal form, to his mother and on 2 occasions. This is another indication. Therefore, in such a pastime of binding him by the waist, Mother Yasoda bound up the whole universe. Indeed, she brought the entire creation under her control. This is the proclamation. All right. I just thought that was so beautiful. All right. Anybody there?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much. Today's class, it was very, very nice. I wanted to ask you, Mataji, you said that Prabhupada, encouraged people to wash the floors and the walls, and you did that as well. Was this in the US or in India?
Oh, this was in the US.
Wow. Okay. It's such a cold country, Mataji. I'm not sure. It must be difficult, right?
Well, the houses are all heated.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Prabhupada was extremely clean. And I don't know anyone that follows. I mean, some of the instructions or guidance were given to certain people, and not everybody heard the same instructions. But I know that I had heard that he talked about cleaning the floor and cleaning the floor a certain way, not taking a mop and sticking it in the water, cleaning the floor, taking the same dirty mop, sticking it back in the same water, wringing it out and cleaning the floor more, and then sticking that same dirty mop back in the same dirty water.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
He was teaching these devotees how to clean, because they didn't know how. He would take, I can't remember exactly how he did it. He would take the rag and throw the clean water and then clean it up with the rag. and then clean the rag, and then take more clean water and throw it, and then clean it up with the clean rag. You know, that makes sense. Moving dirty water around on the floor to clean it, it doesn't make any sense. But that's how it's done all over the place. People take a mop, they put it in same dirty water they just used, and then they clean the floor with it. Sure,
Right.
cleaner than it was, but it's not clean. In Detroit, Prabhupada, they had beautiful rugs. I mean, the Fisher Mansion was an extraordinary building, and we lived in it. And Prabhupada came, and they gave him the big room, and it had this big, beautiful carpet, and he made them cover it with white sheets because the carpets are dirty. You vacuum them, maybe you clean them once a year, but they're dirty. Carpets are dirty. They're comfortable, they're nice under your feet, but they're dirty, and Prabhupada didn't want that. He had it covered with a white sheet, and it actually makes sense. You step on the white sheet, you'd be surprised how dirty it gets and how much stuff gets accumulated on it just in one day. What's
Right.
of a week or a month. But then you take the sheet, you throw all this stuff outside or in the garbage or whatever, and then you wash the sheet and put it back. So you always have a clean, or actual clean place.
Right.
Yes,
Very hygienic. Correct.
yes.
Yeah, in India, some people do it, but mainly to protect it from the sun or something. Yeah, it's a good idea.
I mean, and it's not fanatical, it just makes sense.
Yeah,
A lot of things people do are not clean.
right. And the toothbrush you mentioned, Mataji, that's like, I think it's called Datan. So it's eucalyptus tree and mango tree, right?
Yes, and there was one other one, and I can't remember. Neem.
Neem, right.
Neem was the other one.
Is it available in the US, Mataji?
Depends where you live. I mean, eucalyptus is very prominent in the US in certain places. Mangoes are certainly prominent in certain places.
Right. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Naran Pranam, all Guru Papat Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. And yes, a lot of devotees have grown the neem tree now. We have in the temple also.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it can be grown with the seed that, certain times of season it gives out seed. And there was one devotee giving out so many neem trees, which is very beneficial. And also I wanted to add, like, Prabhupada stressed on cleanliness is close to godliness.
Yes, next to godliness, he said.
Yes. So, I mean, nothing could be more powerful than the statement. You have to keep everything clean, the kitchen, the altar, and everything has to be clean, because that attracts, even if it's like an old temple and everything is nice and clean, it's so good.
Yes. And it's for our benefit. I mean, it's not that you can't become Krishna conscious without, I mean, you see someone like Gorkishore Das Babaji lived in the field, the Goswamis lived in the field. But at the same time, we're not going to go live in a field. So to keep our living space as clean as possible, I mean, and here I'm preaching to myself, it's just a good habit. It's just a good habit.
And also, Mataji, you mentioned about the walls, like Geeta Mataji was asking, like, actually, we really need to clean walls here, because what happens is we live in an environment where it's heat or AC on, and still the dust is coming, and we can see it on the wall actually. So,
Yes.
I mean, obviously there are dry walls here in the US homes. So I would say just take a broom and then just rub it on the wall. That would be the way to clean the wall.
Well, my son, when I was in LA, he said he really would like to have the walls cleaned. And I was surprised. So there are tools on Amazon. They're like a Swifter almost for cleaning the walls with water even, because most paint is cleanable. Not enamel. Bathrooms are usually enamel or semi-gloss. Walls are usually semi-gloss. They're washable. It's not like you're going to destroy the board underneath. But they do have some instruments for cleaning walls.
Yes, Mataji, one of my friend does it regularly. I mean, not regularly as every day, but like once a quarter, with wet cloth.
Yes.
But of course, she lives in a condo, a high ceiling homes may be tough, but yeah, it is something we should.
Anyway, it's not that to be Krishna conscious, you have to clean your walls. But at the same time, I was just trying to point out how Prabhupada gave a whole lifestyle for us, to at least know what should or could be done to help us in our day in and day out life.
Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah, and Mataji, thank you so much for mentioning the point that, sometimes it creates a lot of stress that we are in a situation outside and, say we are hungry and, we are on traveling or something like that. And it's so amazing. You go anywhere. I mean, last I remember I was at the New York airport and, we didn't have anything to eat. And I went, there was like a food court and there was nothing I could eat there except for, like you said, pretzels.
Right.
Nothing. I mean, sandwich also, they have, and then there are some people who are so nice, I would say. They say that, uh, everything is mixed here. So if you are not purely, then you should not take here. Like, as
Yeah.
if, Krishna is speaking through them. And then, like I was in a line trying to see what I can buy, Subway sandwich or something. But she said that, it's very hard for us to, even if we're wearing gloves, we're still touching the meat.
Cross contamination.
Yes. So we really have to prepare something from home and take, and
it's definitely the best thing to
yeah,
bring.
Yeah.
Unless you get just like crackers and cheese or pretzels and cheese or, just something simple.
Snack type of food, fruits.
Yes.
And this kind of problem is not there in India, Mataji. Luckily, although India has its own situations because, there, everywhere you can ask for Jain meal. I mean, they can make for you. Of course, it's not cooked by a devotee, but still, there is not food and especially so much items like roti, rice, all this does not anyway need onion, garlic.
Yeah.
So there's more like, so it's sometimes hard for coming from Indian background to live here because that's why Sadhu Sangha is very famous now because there, everybody can eat, devotees and others also. And a lot of people I know are going to Sadhu Sangha because of the prasadam.
Oh.
Because, devotees are cooking it and such a vast scale. And now we're having it in Orlando this year. So are you coming, Mataji? Yeah.
Malati wanted to go. I mean, she was really determined to go. It's really expensive.
Yeah.
And we are not earning people. We are, Anyway, yes, we are going.
Okay, Mataji.
We'll see.
Yeah. So, Mataji, I want to ask you one more question. Like, sometimes what happens is that, so much we hear that we should not, we should not desire anything else other than Krishna consciousness related things in our heart, even our mind. But sometimes it so happens that, we might require, over the time, we might require like a bigger home, or we might require something, living the material world. We are seeing that there's no place for one member when the person is coming, there's no room available, bedrooms are less or something like that. So in that case, when we have to move from a basic home, say a 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, to a little bit bigger accommodation, 4 bedroom or whatever, then it's a requirement. So then, but still the mind keeps thinking, oh, it's okay, we'll manage in this only. Why take, um, but then at the same time there is a requirement too, like we're seeing the families are growing, children are getting married, older people want to stay with you and things like that. Then in that case, when we like there was one line, sorry, the quote I was reading, it says that, I'm just like, kind of analogy I'm talking, like Prabhupada said that if you so desire to open a temple, then Krishna will help you, right? Now, this is completely different from what I'm saying. I mean, of course, he encouraged so many people. Other than himself, he was empowering so many people, other people, to, go and open temples. And now also Indradumni Maharaj, he went through like a skin cancer situation. He just, was continuing his preaching. It's amazing. Maharaj is, everywhere doing all these, yatras he's taking, and a very nice. So yeah, coming to the material aspect, like, so then, we feel, no, we should not have desire. We'll manage. We'll put like 4 beds in one room. We will somehow the other. So, but at the same time, again, that thought comes, yes, we need to buy a bigger house, or maybe we have a very old car and we need to, literally, there is nothing new in it. Doesn't have a cruise also. It's a basic car, and it's getting older and handles are coming out and all those things are happening. So in that sense, the material desire comes. Oh, you go to the showroom one day and see, like Toyota is selling these cars, which has, I mean, the basic item itself has everything now.
Yeah, but that what you're talking about is totally different than
Yeah.
people that want a new car every year and they want it better than the guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They want it
So
fancier, and that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. So that desire is okay, na Mataji? That is okay. I mean, if
that's how I live. My son's cars, got 170,000 miles on it. I know it's going to give out soon, so I'm looking for another car.
Yes, that case when but then it's something like, for these things we should not ask from Krishna. That's my question. I mean, see, we are the material world, material body. We have some requirement, right? So for that requirement also, we should not disturb Krishna.
Well, I mean, that's not really the mood that we're. I mean, Prabhupada said that even the drunkard should offer his wine. The idea is to create devotion.
Yes.
But a great soul doesn't ask for anything. Look at Prahlad Maharaj. He didn't, the Lord asked him to ask for something, and he said, no, I'm not a mercantile person. I'm not doing business with you. If that's where you're at, that you think that you need to ask Krishna for a new car, then actually one of my sons asked me that. And I said, well, better to go to Krishna with your material desires, because then you're going to Krishna. So that's making some advancement there. I mean, that's my opinion anyway.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, because we don't want to be flown away by the, like generally there's a trend in maybe other countries too. Like, people come to, it's a land of opportunity, America, and the cars and the houses are so good and people want to come here and, kind of, do sense gratification and all that stuff. And so that's the reason they're coming, here. One of the reasons to land of opportunity. But that is not what Prabhupada has given us. It's we have to hear about Krishna. There's so many other activities we do connected to Krishna. So yeah, kind of we were saved from this sense gratificatory life, which we would have led definitely. And even in the middle, we become like that. So yes, Mataji.
Even Bhaktivinoda Thakur says to give up the clutches of materialism slowly and cultivate the spirit inward. I mean, who doesn't want a better life, a more peaceful life, a cleaner life, a wealthier life. But we don't want to forget about our Krishna consciousness, you know. And then you use what you get for Krishna's pleasure.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, and thank you for letting us know also in your class that how people are eating every possible part of an animal, and people are, they don't know how to dress, how to go
Coffee.
about it. And and if you see the society, Mataji, outside, like my husband would also tell me, you're going like this outside. I said, yeah, like a simple cotton shirt. I mean, he goes to work, so he's like, people dress up and all, get ready properly. He'll sometimes tell me, because he works outside and he sees how men and so people are so fancily dressed, but internally they're so hollow.
Right.
I mean, they'll wear nice, sophisticated, eyelashes are there. Ladies are wearing wigs and this and that, and sparkling eyes, nice makeup, and inside, and inside of them, when you sit and see they're having lunch, they're eating beef.
Yes. Yes.
So this is the society we're living in, which, I mean, we would have thought as a normal thing, but this is not normal life. It's like animalistic life, Yeah, they're continuing. And some of them actually, they're like hardcore meat eaters. And it's amazing, their skin and everything is very glowing. I just wonder sometimes that, how come glowing in the sense, their body looks pretty okay. And I'm like, they're eating all these things and still they are, they have nice skin and whatever, like we observe in ladies. So, but yeah, it's like their consciousness again, that is what matters. Krishna consciousness. That's what the thing is all about, which consciousness we are living in. So thank you, Mataji, for enlightening us. Just some thoughts were coming, I'm sharing here, because I know I can't share with these people outside, just with devotees, because we all kind of have the same, although we have two eyes, our vision is all the same because we are Krishna conscious.
Well, also don't forget that the people are eating all these killed animals.
Yeah.
That were raised very unkindly and then killed, and then they're eating all this processed and old food, and health is not, maybe right now they're 30 years old, 40 years old, they have dynamic health. A lot of diseases come from a lot of old processed food, and who knows what the consciousness from the kind of food they're eating and what their health will be like in the future. There's so many diseases, like the obesity. Where I live in West Virginia, there's so much obesity, so many fat people. And a lot of it's from the chemicals and the processed food that they're eating. And, just because they look good right now doesn't mean that they're going to stay healthy. So much diabetes, there's so many difficulties from their diets.
So Mataji, like you mentioned about diabetes comes from bad food habit. It is not like coming genetically or like a hereditary.
Oh no, a lot of diabetes is from food habits, not genetic.
Even the type 1 and type 2 both?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I just know that
okay.
A lot of that West Virginia has a lot of diabetes and a lot of obese people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the food they're eating, so much sugar in the foods that most people eat, the sodas, the cereals, Fruit Loops and Mountain Dew and Coca-Cola, and it's not a healthy diet.
Yes.
Okay, I've got to go.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your association. We look forward. I know you're traveling to California, but again, we will catch you, so to say.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I think
Hare
one
Krishna Mataji.
devotee has something to say, Mataji, to you.
Please.
Okay, no, it was just like background noise.
Okay.
Vanchakapascha, kripa sindhu evacha patitanam
Janam
pavanebhyo.
Bhavane Bhav Vaishnavi
Namo
Bhavo.
Ananda Koti Varshavindi ki jai. Shri Prabhupada
Jai.
Har Grace Jayasri Mataji ki
Guruji
jai.
ki jai.
All the assembled.
Kartik Mas ki jai. And tomorrow
Jai.
actually this Ekadashi is there tomorrow. And it is a Ekadashi very special. I'm not getting the name. I had shared Sayana Ekadashi. That is a day when I think Lord Vishnu wakes up from his sleep.
Devathan. Uttan
after-
Ekadashi. Uttan.
Utkanit, yes, Prabhuji. Thank you for. I just shared it actually. Utthana Ekadashi. So this is the Ekadashi that falls in the last month of Kartik and last month of Chaturmas. And that is the time they say that Lord Vishnu wakes up at this time. And that's why before that, when Lord Vishnu sleeps, and then till now, it's like, we do the 4 Chaturmas, not eating curd, milk, palak, and dal, one of the 4 things we follow. But that kind of ends, some people end on Ekadashi and some people end on the end of Ekadashi, which is 15th. I think if I'm wrong, please correct me. 15th. So, yeah. And 5 last days of Pancha something. I don't know what it's called. Sorry.
No,
Be
so
sure
the
one.
Ekadashi starts tomorrow and ends day after tomorrow, right?
No,
Mataji?
no. Ekadashi is normal. But the breaking fast is on Wednesday.
Yes. Okay, Mataji.
Yeah. But it's a special Ekadashi because it comes towards the end of the 4 months of Chaturmas. And so to what I heard yesterday from temple is like Lord Shiva, who has been sleeping on the causal ocean, he wakes up on now, and
Lord Vishnu.
Lord Vishnu, yes. Partha Prabhu, maybe you can share something because I'm just
Yeah,
repeat.
that's what I know. He wakes up. There is a Devatthanu Ekadashi.
Yes.
The last 5 days are Bhishma Panchaka because Bhishma Dev
Yes.
did the austerities and he earned the favor of the Lord. So if somebody can do it, is nice.
So Bhishma Panchaka, some people are also doing like Ekadashi of 5 days. Or some austerity where we can do a little bit more austerity, but it all depends on one's health, age, condition, like that. But yeah, we're coming almost end to our Damodar month. We'll miss it. And I know this Sunday was the last weekend of Ekadashi, of Damodar month.
Yeah, it also says yellow fruits to be offered and burn a lamp all night.
Okay, where did you read that?
It's one of those websites.
Oh,
Ekadashi.
okay. Yeah, I don't know if we follow that yellow. I mean, of course, you can offer fruits, but specifically color, I'm not sure about,
Okay.
Like I generally try to find out like why this particular thing is there. Like we know in Ekadashi we don't take grains, but there is things behind why we don't take onion, garlic. But I don't know about the yellow fruit thing.
Yeah,
Mataji.
maybe we should read the ISKCON site. That's fine, Mataji.
Yeah. And of course, you can follow whatever you are following from your childhood. Like Prabhupada never told us not to. He always said, whatever you're following, you follow. And some people worship Lord Shiva, they do other things, but we have to add Krishna consciousness. Now it all depends whether we will most of us, I mean, I for myself, whatever I was following, worshipping so many devis and devatas, I left that and I came to worshipping and praying and chanting for Krishna only. I was one of those people, but I know a lot of my friends, they initiated also, but still they do Ganesh Chaturthi, they do many other festivals. And they also do the, I mean, they do so much of austerity, Mataji. Like there's one Mataji, she'll do the Navratri, she'll do the Karva Chauth, and she will do Ekadashi, and she will do everything she will follow. ISKCON and whatever she was following earlier. So
Nice.
I'm amazed. It's such a wonderful example. Her name is Shilpi Mataji. And devotees will tell her she'll follow that. And whatever she's been practicing, she'll follow that. So many fasts she has to do,
Wow, nice.
Yeah, sometimes we tell her that, if you do Ekadashi and other appearance day, that's good. But she says, no, this is something I've been doing and I like to do Navratri and Karva Chauth and any other things which come in, So she follows the Hindu calendar and the ISKCON. So that's also really nice, because fasting in today's, like Mataji was saying, we all, there's so much of obesity and all this problem now. Every other person has a belly now, like a belly.
Yeah.
We're putting on weight, me myself. So we all, the more we fast, I think it's good for our system.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
even Ekadashi day, I've seen when, it clears your stomach very well, because we're not having grains. And some people are also not having milk product, which I don't know, it's very contradictory about milk thing, vegan or whatever they call it, no animal product. But a lot of people are converting that. But still, I feel to be vegan is better than to eat meat.
Absolutely, Mataji.
Yeah. So everything has its balance like that. So anyway, but I was thinking in the end of the class, it's good to mention, because everybody knows, and they are,
Yes.
sometimes what happens, by the same day I come to know it's Ekadashi, and then I'm not prepared. So I know I have sweet potatoes. I bought a couple of days back. I have to cook that. So I'm going to boil it tomorrow. So a little prep. Maybe we can make some paneer if anybody likes. So it's
Yes.
nice to do a prep one day before on Ekadashi.
Yes.
Then it's easy, because otherwise we are left high and dry. Oh, today's Ekadashi. What to make now?
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Indian household normally, generally, the roti sabji and all we make, which is easy. We know we're having that. Or sometimes I do make oatmeals and other things. But on Ekadashi day, everything stops. So it's nice to prepare one day before, like evening, today evening.
Yeah. Yes.
So then, you'll have a totally different breakfast or whatever you're going to eat,
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you
Hare
so much.
Hare.
And Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. And we will see you all tomorrow for the next verse of Bhagavatam. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.